Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown spoilers as well as WWE main event results. But first, what happened after Raw? Because I didn't get it on the video. Raw Backstage Pass post-show opened up with Roman Reigns and Ambrose finishing their celebration as the Shield music hit. They slapped hands with the fans at ringside. Ambrose flipped the steps and tossed the chair to the ring. Booker predicted the Shield will be fine with a guy like Reigns leading the way. Alex Riley wonders if they can exist with just two guys and says that they need a third person to join in. Kofi says it felt weird not having Rollins there, like something wasn't right with the Shield. Renee Young was backstage with Reigns and Ambrose. Reigns says that this is going to be a long drawn out ordeal because they want Rollins to suffer. He says that they're going to carve his black heart out. As Ambrose says, Rollins is sweating and checking his back. Reigns says Triple H can take his rule and shove it up his ass. Leave that. As they go back to the panel, and they show more replays of stuff that happened on Raw. Panel talks about Money in the Bank. Kofi hoped to get a spot in the Money in the Bank match, and that's it for the post show. Nothing much else. In Your Head Radio with Maria Kanelis by Jackie Jones and 1 Inch Biceps by Vic Schiavone. Now available on IYHWrestling.com. The only she's asked on the difference between wrestling for women in the WWE and women on the independent scene. It's a lot more feeling. We always had to stick to certain time when I was working on television, so you really couldn't try a whole lot. Getting in there and wrestling with some of the new girls or up and coming the girls that have been veterans on the independent is completely different because we have all the time in the world. We can play the crowd, we can see the works and what doesn't work, and that's really fun for me. On the online rumors that her fiance, Mike Bennett, did not go to WWE because of their relationship. I've heard a lot of things, but with wrestling, you have to know that everybody might blame it on different reasons. It's always going to be, oh, it's because he was in good enough shape, or it's because he was an independent wrestler, or, oh, it's because he has something in his past, or the truth of the matter is wrestling. It was all about timing and placement, and at the time, it wasn't Mike's time. It wasn't his time to go. I've been called an albatross. I've been called this and that. And by the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that WWE needs what WWE needs right now, because if he is what they needed, they would take him. And if you look past history with wrestling, there's been a lot of guys that came back and had a lot more controversy surrounding them than I have. They always said Stone Cold won't go back. Rock's not going back. This person's not going back. They need them. They want them. They end up going. On the most important thing between looks, charisma, and in-ring wrestling, or whether you must be the complete package. I think you have to have something. I don't think it's one particular look. I don't think it's one particular type of charisma, and I don't think it's one type of wrestling. I think there's a place for everything. You just have to be extremely passionate about it. You have to stand out, and I think there's a lot of people that thought I would never come back to wrestling, and think a lot of people thought that I wouldn't have a place in wrestling, that I would just do whatever it was to make money. If that were the case, then I probably would be somewhere else. I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I'm so passionate about wrestling and about being part of wrestling and making the best product out there. And I think that is why, or what you need to stick around in this business. You'll move around. You might go to TNA. You might go to Ring of Honor. You might go to WWE. Each place will expect something different of you. But you have to be passionate about every aspect of wrestling in order to make it. Other topics include whether she prefer being an active wrestler or a manager valet role. whether she considers herself a Paul Heyman girl, whether she finds that some people in wrestling think that a woman can't have a good mind for the creative side of wrestling. Does she think that there is such a big crossover between horror fans and wrestling fans? And whether she would like to be more involved in the booking aspect of wrestling. The SmackDown TV main event is advertised as Sheamus vs. Cesaro. Happy birthday goes to Mexican star Festo, age 49. Would have been the birthday of former NWA star Dick Gunn. Would have been 84 in the memoriam. 1968, Polish wrestler and strongman. Wladek Zabisco was born. Wladek Ganowicz passed away at age 76. Ric Flair may be brought back to WWE TV at next week's Raw, next week's shows with The Miz. Since this is in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, as noted, the latest word was the WWE was putting Flair with The Miz when he returns. Word coming out of Raw is that both Bray Wyatt and John Cena will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's for the WWE World Heavyweight title at this month's pay-per-view. John Cena, Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, and Hulk Hogan are the first confirmed names for the WWE 2K15 video game. I'll show the photo over there. It's the first poster for the game that was revealed at E3 in Los Angeles this week. Numerous photos have surfaced on social media in recent months of Shield star Dean Ambrose being spotted in public settings with announcer Renee Young. The newest issue of UK Wrestling Mag Power Slam makes note of the two being out together recently. One of their spies spotted Renee Young, Paquette, and Jonathan Dean Ambrose Good looking very chummy together on King Street in Toronto on the afternoon of May 8th. According to editor Finley Martin, as he wrote, there are no plans for Brad Maddox to return to TV as of yet, because of his firing last week. He just asked for some time off, and former general manager was tweeting about it, taking a vacation and getting out of the country. WWE camera crews were told to shoot away from John Cena and warning of no close-ups when they had to shoot John Cena during this past Monday's Raw. This is because Cena's eye was struck by Bray Wyatt in a match that they had at a house show live event, which was still swollen on Monday, but not nearly as bad as it was on Sunday. And this isn't the first time Cena has had a facial injury, and WWE went out of their way to keep it off TV. And here are some of the Twitter comments from actor-comedian Kevin Hart about hosting NXT's next week's Raw. Quote, "This Monday night is going to be huge. Mark your calendars. My wrestler name is Lil Nugget. LOL. I can't wait. I'm wearing spandex. That's my wrestler attire. LOL." As seen on Raw, Dean Ambrose suffered a cut on his chin. I'll be posting that video. Not video, but picture. WWE's website will report that it took 9 stitches to close the cut. And again, I'm showing the video. Picture of the cut. And this next link is a WrestleMania Rewind extra from tonight's episode with Shawn Michaels talking about John Cena. Jim Ross has been announced as the Master of Ceremonies for the George Tragos / Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame induction banquet on Saturday, July 19th in Waterloo, Iowa. This year's class includes Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, Wilbur Snyder, Diamond Dallas Page receiving the Frank Gotch Award, Larry Hennig receiving the Luthez Award, and Larry Mastic receiving the Jim Melby Award. As JR said in a press release, "I'm very honored to have been asked to take a more active role in this great organization in our lives. We can't move forward if we are unaware of our past. Other news is Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton versus John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose is advertised for the main event for next week's Raw and SmackDown taping. Again, last night's Raw from Minnesota was at Target Center, was not sold out. An estimated 8,000 to 9,000 fans were in attendance. And there are unconfirmed reports going around that say top indie wrestler Kevin Steen has signed a deal with WWE, but not confirmed yet. As soon as I get a confirmation that it has been confirmed, I'll post it in my next week's video. WWE was considering a second Money in the Bank ladder match for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on June 29th. But, get this, if they do, they might be splitting the championships again. Even after they melded them together, one champion holding both belts. Apparently they were looking at announcing the second ladder match at last night's Raw, but obviously didn't. Word is about the second ladder match, which will be for a future title shot, will feature up-and-coming talents, while the top superstars will be in the main ladder match. That's for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight title. Tonight's Tuesday night tapings from the Rush Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Yep, that's the home of Mr. Kennedy Anderson from TNA. Wait for it, Anderson. Confirmed for main event was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, and set for SmackDown was Cesaro versus Sheamus. If you'd like to help out with live spoilers in the future, please email me at tomrose@yahoo.com or Tommy Kerr on Facebook. The Rock is still filming 3D disaster movie San Andreas in Australia. He tweeted the following this morning. Just wrapped up a massive earthquake scene for San Andreas. To the hundreds of background actors, extras, thank you for all your hard work. Below is the synopsis for Thursday night's Legends House finale on the WWE Network. Pat Patterson attempts to reveal a lifelong secret to the group. WWE legends send each other off in style with a party. Cincinnati Reds announcer Marty Brenneman mentioned last night that he recently interviewed by WWE for an upcoming Macho Man Randy Savage documentary. Ooh yeah! After being soaked with milk on Raw last night, Layla spoke with Tom Phillips on the WWE app. She said it's now personal with Summer Rae and she wants a match. Batista recently spoke with Lehigh Valley Live to promote an upcoming Comic Con appearance, and here are the highlights of that. Playing Drax Destroyer, as he comments. That's the thing I love about Drax. I don't think people were really expecting him to have such a emotional range. Most people were thinking he's a one-note guy, but he's more heartbroken than anything. That's what I love about the character. He goes from rage to heartbroken over his family. Many comments of going from wrestling to acting. I had the same bills, but no money coming in. I actually took jobs that would put me next to good actors. I kind of picked up some things from people here and there. And then he commented on finding his groove and getting back in WWE. Somewhere along the line, I found my groove and it felt good. I only stayed away so long because it took me longer than I thought it would do to the things I wanted to accomplish. But at the end of the day, I love being a professional wrestler. That live, automatic feedback is what I crave. Mick Foley wrote the following on Facebook last night. Comments on too many spine issues. Seeing Dr. Maroon on WWE Monday Night Raw talking about Daniel Bryan's neck surgery brought back some tough memories for me. About 3 years ago, I thought that there was a surgical procedure that might bring some relief, especially from the sciatic nerve pain that has been a constant part of my life for the past several years. Dr. Maroon was set to perform the minimally invasive surgery, and I had high hopes as I headed to Pittsburgh for my final pre-op appointment. But it was there in Pittsburgh that Dr. Maroon, one of the top surgeons in the country, spelled out the facts as he saw them. I'll never forget his words. You've just got too many issues. Meaning that even with the surgery, the other problems brought on by my particular style of wrestling were too numerous and complex for any one specialist to solve. I wish I'd done everything I could to get healthy while I was still under contract with WWE. The company was certainly willing to help me, but after the 1-2 punch of being told by two top brain specialists that I should never wrestle again, and Dr. Maroon telling me that even neurosurgery wasn't likely to be a cure for all that has ailed me, I just kind of gave up, stopped believing that there was any hope I'd live a normal life. Instead, I threw myself into becoming a performer of stories on stage and began looking forward to my December visits as St. Nick all year long. And I don't escape from the pain in traditional ways like alcohol and pills. I escape every night when I have a chance to step on stage and share my stories with the crowd. It really doesn't matter if there are 100 people out there or 100,000. As long as I'm connecting with an audience and creating reactions, I feel like I'm back in Madison Square Garden with 20,000 in the palm of my hand. And December is only 6 months away. Plus, I've got a chiropractor, Don Moore, formerly Dr. Porter in FCW, who has both my legs almost the same length again. And I'm going to answer the call of DDP yoga one of these days. I may walk slowly, but I walk down my own path to the beat of my own drummer and enjoy the sights and smells of that less traveled path. Casting agencies are looking for orchestra stand-ins and a Sting body double for a WWE orchestra project that will be filmed next Monday. PW Insider reports that scenes are being filmed for WWE's upcoming Sting DVD documentary as a B-roll video if and when WWE might need Sting-related material in the future. Thus be put 2 and 2. Roman Reigns was asked by a fan on Twitter if he thinks UFC Women's Champion Ronda Rousey could be a member of the Shield, and Roman replied and said, "She seems like a good fit," leading to this reply from Rousey and an exchange between the two. Rousey commented, "How did I not see this till right now? Hashtag this is awesome at WWE Roman Reigns." Reigns comments at Ronda Rousey, "Well, hell, let's get a vest on you and start tearing the world apart. Hashtag break every rule in the book." Rousey comments back, "By the way, I fangirled out on that at Roman Reigns. Tweet so bad I screwed up like 5 times. LOL. As noted before, WWE reportedly is interested in having Rousey appear at this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view. So don't think that's out of the scripts yet. WWE main event kicks off from Green Bay, Wisconsin, with Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton welcoming us as Triple H makes his way out. Triple H takes the mic and says that there's a lot of controversy in WWE right now that has people asking why. Like, why would they strip Daniel Bryan of the World Heavyweight title? Triple H shows us a video of Dr. Joseph Maroon talking about Daniel Bryan not being able to compete this month. Triple H then says that he has stripped Daniel Bryan because of the fans. He talks about the ladder match at Money in the Bank, and we see the titles hanging above the ring. He talks about Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, and Randy Orton already being in the match. Triple H says history will be made, and he guarantees a new champion will be crowned. He brings up more controversy that makes you ask why. And it shows us a clip of Seth Rollins turning on the Shield 2 weeks ago. Well, that would be 2 Raws ago. Triple H brings out Seth Rollins to the ring and calls him the future of WWE. Triple H then asks Rollins how it felt turning on Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Fan chat, you sold out. As Rollins takes the mic, Rollins says, right before he swung at Reigns, a stillness. A clarity came over him. He then struck Reigns and looked over at Ambrose, trying to grasp what was happening. The feeling he had over dropping Ambrose was incredible. a power he can't describe. Nothing like he's ever felt. Nothing that Ambrose or Reigns will ever feel again. He says they owe everything to him. Rollins rips the fans again, saying that they won't ever reach their goals or accomplish anything because they don't have the guts to do what he did. And Rollins says that Triple H does understand that power won't reach power more than anybody. Triple H does understand that power over more than anybody. He then says that we're looking at the evolution of Seth Rollins. He calls Reigns and Ambrose dead weight. He did what he had to do, cut them loose. Fans chanted boring Rollins, and Triple H thanks. He then thanks Triple H for the opportunity and shakes his hand, and out comes Dolph Ziggler for their match. Ziggler calls Rollins a scumbag traitor. Ziggler goes on and says that he's here to show the world how damn good he is at this. Ziggler says he's going to wipe the smoke off of the look of Rollins' face and cram the arrogance down his tiny giraffe neck. Ziggler says he's going to show the world that what it's like to be a WWE superstar and do without an egomaniac boss holding his hand. Still to come segment, Jimmy Uso versus Luke Harper as we go to network commercials. Well, we thought that was the match. Well, I guess not. Still, Jimmy Uso versus Luke Harper was the first match. Back from the break, and out comes tag team champions the Usos. The Wyatt family graphic flashes next. Lights go off, and when they come back, Luke Harper and Eric Owen are already in the ring. They lock up, and Harper takes the Usos to the corner. Harper works over one of the Usos and stomps away on him. Uso turns around with a splash on the bottom rope. Uso ducks the clothesline and splashes Harper. Harper sends the Uso face first into the middle rope and chops him back down. More back and forth. An Uso with a big shot off the top rope. Harper floors Uso with a big boot. Harper ends up dumped on the floor. And Uso runs the ropes into a big forearm when he tries to leap out. Harper comes in and misses a clothesline. Uso nails a super kick for the win. Winning the match, Jimmy Uso. Well, I guess it was Jimmy Uso versus Luke Harper. Rusev versus Kofi Kingston. We come back from more network commercials. Out first comes Kofi. Lana comes out and cuts another anti-American promo. A USA chant breaks out. Lana tells them to stop. She says that they are all overweight and fat, and she says she is what Russian women look like. She says American women aren't desired by their husbands. They want her, but they cannot have her. She says Russian men are strong. She shows Russian President Vladimir Putin on the big screen. Rusev was out next. Kofi tries to fight, but Rusev clubs him on the back of the head and goes down. Rusev stops on Kofi, and Rusev with a big stomp off the rope, and Rusev runs into a kick and then another. Kofi with more kicks, and then Kofi with a forearm. Finally, Kofi takes Rusev down with a big crossbody for a 2 count. Kofi gets more kicks and sends Rusev to the corner. Kofi mounts him with right hands. Rusev carries him out of the corner and hits a bunch of knees to the ribs. Rusev hits a big fall-away slam. Lana tells Rusev to punish Kofi. Rusev tosses Kofi out to the floor and throws him into the barrier. Rusev throws Kofi back inside the ring, and then Kofi nails a top kick but runs into a super kick from Rusev. Then Lana tells Rusev to crush him. I just put the two together and you get Rusev. Rusev. And he stomps on his back. Rusev applies the accolade for the win. After the match, Lana comes in and the hold is broken. Lana puts Rusev's medal around his neck and they pose as the Russian flag drops over the ring as we go to replays. So still to come the segment, Ziggler versus Rollins again as we go to no more network commercials. After the break, Renee Young backstage with Summer Rae. She talks about the breakup with Fandango and then Fandango getting with Layla. We see a replay of Summer Rae pouring milk on Layla from Raw, and Layla ends up hitting Summer with a box of kitty litter and beating her down. Oh, so we get poop match. Backstage. Okay, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins up next. Then we go to the ring. Out comes Ziggler. And more commercials. Now, after the break, we come back. Seth Rollins makes his way out in his Shield gear. This is a rematch from SmackDown. They lock up and trade holds. Rollins rolls to the floor and comes back in. They lock back up and Rollins takes them down with a headlock. They run the ropes and Ziggler takes Rollins down for a 2 count. And Ziggler gets a headlock. Ziggler keeps control and nails a drop kick. Rollins catapults Ziggler into the corner and out to the floor. We take quick commercial break. Come back and Ziggler is fighting out of a hold. Rollins kicks him back down and hits a trio of suplexes. I wonder if it's a Guerrero style. Rollins with a 2 count. Rollins slaps Ziggler around and works over him on the ropes. Ziggler fights back with rights and headbutts, and Rollins whips him hard into the corner twice. Ziggler ends up with a sleeper, but Rollins broke the hold. More offense from Ziggler. Ziggler hits a big backdrop. Ziggler then drops elbows and covers Rollins for another 2 count. More back and forth. That's Rollins with a backside for a 2 count. Rollins drops Ziggler hard for another 2 count. Rollins goes to the top. Ziggler runs up, but Rollins knocks him back to the mat. Rollins leaps off, but Ziggler drop kicks him in midair for a 2 count. Rollins blocks the big DDT. Ziggler dumps Rollins to the apron as Ziggler gets dropped again after Rollins counters with a big kick. Rollins then springboards in but misses. Ziggler hits the famouser for a 2 count. As they go back and forth again, Rollins powerbomb Ziggler into the turnbuckles and nails a stomp for the win. After the match, Rollins looks on as we go to replays. Main event goes off the air with Rollins posing in the corner with his hand high. Dark matches either prior or during, or is it prior or before main event or after main event in between SmackDown taping. Match number 1, Natalia defeated Rosa Mendez. Match number 2, Los Matadors defeated Ryback. Well, of course, El Torito distracted Ryback for the win. SmackDown spoilers. I'll give you 2 results on that. Thanks to Ashley Bellin for the following SmackDown spoiler from tonight's tapings in Green Bay. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose opened SmackDown to cut a promo similar to the one they did on Raw. Triple H appeared on the big screen and announces Reigns versus Bad News Barrett for right now. And Barrett comes out for the match. Barrett takes a Superman punch. 3MB comes out and jumps Reigns. He fights back and takes them all out. So I wonder if there's no contest or an actual match. Well, Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in a Money in the Bank qualifier will take place later on tonight. Probably still to come segment. Eric Rowan defeated Jey Uso as the Uso appeared to be hurt, but was likely just selling. Bo Dallas defeated R-Truth with the Bulldog. The crowd was really into the match. Paul Heyman came out and talked about the streak ending. Cesaro says he's here to fight. Sheamus interrupts them for a non-title match that was described as an awesome physical match. And Cesaro won with a small package. Adam Rose defeated Fandango with his finisher. Summer Rae was dressed up as one of the Rosebuds and attacked Layla, beating her up pretty bad. Big E then defeated Jack Swagger. Lana and Rusev came out during the match and taunt and yelled at Big E. Then Alicia Fox squashed Oksana, and your main event was Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in the Money in the Bank qualifying match was up next. Bray controlled a good part of the match. That was described as a crazy physical match. Seth Rollins came out to screw Ambrose, and Wyatt hits this Abigail for the win. Wyatt qualifies for the Money in the Bank, and this appears to be when SmackDown went off the air. And here's the second report. Shield opened up the show. Triple H interrupted to book Roman Reigns versus Bad News Barrett. When Barrett hit the ring, Reigns took him out with a Superman punch. 3MB ran out and Reigns held them off with Ambrose. Match number 2, very brief. Eric Rowan defeated Jey Uso. Bo Dallas defeated R-Truth. Cesaro defeated U.S. Champion Sheamus in a non-title match. Adam Rose defeated Fandango. Wonder Rosebud at ringside attacked Layla, revealing herself as Summer Rae. And Big E defeated Jack Swagger. Alicia Fox defeated Oksana. Bray Wyatt defeated Seth Rollins in a Money in the Bank qualifier match. Seth Rollins interfered. And that source goes to PW Insider. After SmackDown went off the air, stopped the taping, Rollins and Wyatt teased fighting each other only to attack Ambrose. Reigns, Harper, no, Rowan, I don't believe. The Usos and Sheamus all have a big brawl that the crowd loved. Reigns and Ambrose attacked Rollins with a chair. At the end, the Usos, Sheamus, and the Shield stood tall and shook hands with the fans to send the crowd home happy. And that concludes my SmackDown WWE main event results for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. God bless. See you when we want to be. Same report time, team report channel. And don't forget, if you don't know, you better call me, bro.